Hey everybody, happy Friday. Had a great conversation this week with a practice member. We were specifically talking about memory, protecting the brain, protecting memory as we age. And I thought there's maybe two things in particular I wanted to touch on. One, a kind of a cool way that you can protect the part of your brain and build the part of your brain that's involved in declarative memory or literally just remembering things. And also second to that, for those individuals who are dealing with chronic pain, what happens to those memory centers and how it can start to change your day-to-day living. And on top of that, what can you do to prevent some of those declines? So first things first, when we're looking at the hippocampus, it's a center of the brain that when we want to recall things and we want to retrieve memories, it's the guy that fires. What's interesting about that part of the brain is that it is activated and strengthened and really engaged when we go to novel spatial environments. So that means getting out of your house, getting out of your comfort zone and going to new places. And second to that, it actually means trying to recall those vividly after you do it. So a neat tip with this one, and this was, I learned this from somebody else in a really great seminar in different strategies with chronic pain management, but essentially, let's say you go to Europe. That'd be a pretty awesome trip for everybody. You take lots of pictures. Most of us might take it on our phone, which is fine. But maybe you take those pictures, you print them off, and you have a physical photo album in your house. So what you would do is you would open up that photo album, you would look at that, you would look at those pictures, and then you would very vividly try to recall those experiences. So by kind of reliving and re-accessing those great memories, you're strengthening the hippocampus and you're building up that capacity to basically have really strong declarative memory. So the more different places you go, you're engaging that brain, and then the more time you spend trying to retrieve those awesome memories, you're further strengthening it, so you get to double dip. Now, for people who are suffering with chronic pain, things start to change in that part of the brain because as we go to look for memories, another part of the brain, which is called the amygdala, which is our super duper like negative, scared, hypervigilant, really avoidant type of part of the brain, it starts to fire too. So what can sometimes happen is that we may look back at a memory that would simply just be a memory with no emotion, but if that part of the brain starts firing because we're in pain and it starts to get overactive, then we often look back at many of our memories and unfortunately attach a negative tag to it, which just means we start to look at everything negatively, and we start to look at everything negatively, that actually further upregulates the potential for chronic pain, which is a really vicious cycle. So we can take kind of that same little principle of like taking a great experience and trying to recall it. So in those types of situations, what you might do is you might have one or two really, really good memories that you know you can access, you can experience. And especially during times when pain is really, really bad, if you can park 5 minutes out of your day, shut everything down and have some quiet, pull up a picture or pull up whatever it might be that kind of helps you access that part of your brain and literally just sit with it. Try to engage, try to vividly imagine it, feel the positive feelings that come from that. And that actually helps to suppress that amygdala down and then separate that really negativity bias that we don't want that actually promotes pain. There's more kind of like a cognitive component to pain when things are chronic. It's remarkable. So I guess those are the two little tidbits. Number one, get out, do something new, and then spend some great time reminiscing. You can do that with your family too, which is wonderful. And number two, if you're struggling with chronic pain, pick one or two really, really good ones that you can access and do that regularly so you can start to train your brain not to look at everything so negatively and decrease that part of the brain that's just firing too much when it shouldn't be. Hope that's helpful. As always, if you have any questions, give me a shout. Happy to help.